BMW still hasn't built an M7, but here is the M760i xDrive to almost satisfy that craving. Think of it as the epidermis of an M5 stretched thin over a big, twin-turbo V12 powered, all-wheel drive 7 Series. It's a translucent layer of M over a car optimized for transporting the Norwegian Minister of Finance to meetings of the International Monetary Fund. And like Norway itself, it's attractive but threatening to no one. The structure and chassis of the M760i xDrive are mostly identical to those of other 6th generation 7 Series sedans, which BMW introduced for 2016. So there are carbon fiber reinforcing elements, about which you can read more here, within a mostly steel unibody, while aluminium is used for major stampings such as the hood, trunk, and door skins. The whole caboodle in white is as much as 190 pounds lighter than was the previous 7 Series structure. Where the M760i xDrive stretches out beyond the regular 6-cylinder, V8, and hybridized 7s is in the engine bay, where the newish M-Performance twin-power turbo 12-cylinder engine resides. The tremendousness of that name aside, which somehow manages to pale in comparison to the monikers for these 7 Series models, this is essentially a 601 horsepower version of the same twin-turbocharged 6.6-litre V12 that BMW ships to England for installation in Rolls-Royce Dawns and Ghosts and Wraiths. What results is as if BMW plucked a wind-up toy from the engine bay and dense-packed in a power plant with the gravitational pull of a neutron star. The swells swell. Forget the hand gesture techno-dope and optional aromatherapy atmospherics and swim in the ocean of torque this V12 produces. There's relentless pull from just off idle until the car enters low orbit around Jupiter. The 590 pound-to-feet peak breaks like a wave over the car when the engine is turning only 1,550 revolutions per minute. The transmission's 8 forward gears almost drown under the grunt. An engine intended for Rolls-Royces will operate in virtual silence. To get that melodic edge an M power plant should have, the M760i uses an exhaust system that's made up of mostly straight piping ending in wired exhaust outlets. The system is adaptive to the driving situation and can be tuned by the driver according to which drive mode is selected. But once you're past the advanced silencers and flaps and charge cycle acoustics, BMW plays its trump card, amplification. The full immersion experience of the brilliant, trilling exhaust sound is actually coming through the car's sound system. At least it's not a recording. AWD trickeration. BMW promises that the all-wheel drive system is biased so as to produce a sensation similar to rear-wheel drive. And on the road, that proves out. Specific 20-inch wheels are fitted with Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires 245/40 in front and 275/35 in the rear. Coming from the company that equips the X6M with 21-inch 285/35 front and 325/30 rear rubber, the tires on the M760i seem relatively modest. And this restraint pays off in this big sedan's ability to be tossed around a racetrack with an entertaining, slightly tail-out attitude. And it's all manageable thanks to a responsive variable ratio rack and pinion steering system up front and a standard rear steering system, optional on other 7s, that turns the hind wheels a few degrees with or counter to the front wheels, depending on this BMW's speed. Called the M760i in other markets that still get a short wheelbase 7 Series, this BMW's natural comparison is to Mercedes-AMG's daunting S65, the other big German Schlickchief with a twin-turbo V12 under its hood. But these are distinctive flavors of Teutonic intimidation. The Mercedes S-Class is broad-shouldered and upright, where the BMW 7 is sleeker, more cat-like, and more intimate inside. Neither one of these are built for beginners just moving into their first Austrian cabinet posts. but the Mercedes feels as if it should be reserved for the party leaders, while the BMW has an insouciant edge that seems right for eager, ambitious apparatchiks. To oversimplify slightly, the M760i drives smaller than its 206.2-inch length. Meanwhile, the S65 feels every one of its 208.1 inches. Sibling rivalry. Then there's the other direct competitor, the Alpina B7. Technically, the B7 doesn't come from BMW but is a product of the famed Alpina tuning house. While the B7 packs a V8, that vitamin-fortified twin-turbocharged 4.4-litre engine is rated at an even 600 horsepower and is installed in what is otherwise a similar 7 Series xDrive sedan. However, whereas the M760i's 590 pounds-to-feet of torque peaks way down at 1,550 revolutions per minute and remains available to 5,000 revolutions per minute, the B7 hits its 590 pound-to-feet peak at 3,000 revolutions per minute, also holding constant to 5,000 revolutions per minute. BMW claims the M760i will roar to 62 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds, and that's probably a conservative estimate. It seems likely that it will match the B7 step for step and hit 60 miles per hour in about 3.4 seconds. In standard configuration, the M760i will be governed to 155 miles per hour, but when equipped with the optional M Drivers package, the top end will be raised to 190 miles per hour, although that upgrade currently isn't available in the United States. The last 577 horsepower, V8-powered Mercedes S63 AMG that CD tested ran from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.8 seconds. We haven't tested the latest S65 sedan yet, but we have strapped our gear to two other 621 horsepower variants of that car, a coupe and a convertible. They each blitzed to 60 miles per hour from rest in 4.1 seconds. Everything the M760i does is impressive. And of course it's gorgeous in every detail. But there's this nagging feeling that the sensations it generates are more a simulation than a genuine reflection of the car's mechanical substance. The steering is mediated by electronics, the throttle is a rheostat, the shifting wand is a goofy and complicated switch, and the suspension is always working hard to ensure the car remains entertaining without disturbing anyone. The transmission shifts better than you can, and the exhaust noise is amplified for oral pleasure. It takes some suspension of disbelief to fully enjoy what this car offers. That in mind, the M760i is a relative bargain. At a starting price of $156,495, it undercuts the S65 AMG sedan by $73,030. As strange as it seems to report, that makes the M760i the cheapest V12-powered new car available in America. Hallelujah.